bring in Ray Allen, the former UConn Husky, Hall of Famer, of course. How excited are you about your alma mater there?
Extremely, extremely. First of all, good morning, Dan. This tournament season has certainly been very entertaining on both sides, men and women. And just to see, you look at the Final Four, you look at the bracketing, the ranking of all the teams. There's, I think, a 9 seed, 5th seed, and then 4 and 5. It truly, to me, it shows that the parity in college basketball, that anybody could win at any given moment. And when you think about the tournament, the way it's set up, it gives everybody a chance, because that ranking, just like for kids in high school, it means nothing. Once we throw that ball up in the air, who wants it the baddest is ultimately going to come out on top.
How has the tournament changed since you played?
Not at all. Just from my vantage point, I talk to my kids about traveling between region tournament sites, the travel throughout America at that time. For us, we always say this is when we truly feel like a professional athlete, because there are times when we were on the road for 10, 11 games. I'll tell you a story real quick. So we played in 95 against UCLA in Oakland, at the then Oakland Coliseum. And we stayed at the Hilton by the airport. So we get beat by UCLA. They go on and win the national championship that year. And we had been on the road because we got sent out west. I think we were number 2 in our bracket. So I think we played in Utah, and then we moved further on to Oakland. So we lose that game. Everybody's, somewhat actually happy to go home because we had been gone for 11 days. You figure you think everybody'd be sad, but we were happier because we're not used to being away from home for so long. We get back to the hotel, and somebody broke into our hotel and stole all of our stuff. So to add insult to injury, I had to wear Coach Calhoun's sweatsuit home on the plane back to Connecticut.
So they took your uniforms and or did they just take your gear, your personal stuff?
Just all my personal stuff, everything I had packed. They had right within my bags, anything that I had. You figure I was gone for 11 days, so I had basically everything that I owned, all my CDs. Kids, that's the thing that spins around. Play music. So everything that it was of value to me at the time, it was stolen from me. So I guess it's a story to tell now. It didn't really matter in the long term.
You stayed 3 years.
Yeah.
If you were playing now, would you be one and done? Were you ready to be one and done?
I don't think I was ready. Even 3 years at UConn, I was having such a blast. That's the thing that we lose sight of, and I think kids forget. Like, once going professional is great, you get to make money, but in college, it's an experience that I hope kids would kind of cherish and want to experience. Just being a collegiate athlete, being on a campus and having an opportunity to make mistakes, building bonds and long-term relationships. Because I think about my college teammates. We go to each other's weddings, see each other over summers, play golf together. I think that's the most extensive network of friends that you'll ultimately end up having, is those you went to college with.
Are you going to go to the Final Four?
I'm planning on it. I'm looking forward to it.
I think you should wear your uniform.
My uniform, which one?
UConn. Oh, well, you got, I know you got them, and you got your Seattle Supersonics hoodie on.
Yeah.
I like that. When are they getting a team? They got to be getting a team when Vegas gets a team, right?
I think Seattle should be next on the docket.
Yeah.
Basketball's so rich in that region. When you think about Seattle, think about all the players now in the league coming from Seattle. Think about the guys that played that came from Seattle. I think if you go back to those mid-'90s Seattle teams, with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp and Detlef Schrempf and Hersey Hawkins, all those guys, they grew up a generation of players. It helped bring basketball to that region, in such a strong manner. So now those kids are growing up. So the latest, you got Banchero, now a young guy out of Seattle. Devontae out of playing for the Hawks. Just so many great young talents that have come out of Seattle area, and that's a tribute to having that franchise in that community. And I think most people look at it as a franchise or a professional team, but it's a community resource. You know, kids look up to those players. Those players visit the schools in the community. You see them on the streets. Like it helps kids dream or aspire to be greater than that which they see in their communities.
Talking to Ray Allen, the Hall of Famer, two-time NBA champ. I'll give you a vote for the MVP. Who are you voting for in the NBA?
I will say I'm voting for, up to what I've seen, I'm going with Embiid.
Did it change recently?
The NBA, so it's difficult to put your finger on it, because oftentimes when you're looking at these different pockets of the season, you know, each 10-game stretch, something different happens. So you start to think over the period of 82 games, who is the most consistent, and on top of that, which team is the most successful. So I like to think that it's a difficult equation, because any year it could be 2 or 3 guys that you can legitimately say is the MVP. But then you also have to give the edge to that guy. I think the ultimate understanding is, if you remove that player from the team, how good would that team be? Which it's a difficult idea to process, because, you know, a good team still has other players on them just as well that can help you win a championship. But the MVP removed from that team is also, you lose that guy and you definitely won't be where you are. So, you know, Jokic is definitely a close second, because Denver is second or third in the NBA in wins right now, or in the Western Conference at least.
Yeah, I would probably still give it to Joker, because if you take him away, they don't have an all-star. You know, Porter, you know, Jamal is a good player. Those aren't all-stars. Embiid still has Harden, and Harden's leading the NBA in assists, and still is a great player. Giannis has a couple of all-stars. Holiday and Middleton are both. So I think the Joker has done more with less on a consistent basis, and they have the best record in the West. But I think there's voter fatigue here, Ray. Right?
Yeah, I agree with you. When you think about Denver, most people, when you talk about who votes for the MVP, you know, Denver, a lot of times they get lost in the sauce because they are out west. Jokic won 2 times already, so now he's almost a victim of his own success. I do believe, just when you throw Embiid's name in there, you know, even with Harden, Embiid has had some big games. He's been very dominant. He's been very unstoppable. The one thing that you have to also protect against when you make these decisions is the league is a very stat-driven league in today's era. So you have to also be careful of just looking at the guy's stats and saying, oh, he had this many points, this many rebounds, this many assists. A lot of times it is an eye test too. Looking at a player and just seeing, because sometimes when you see a guy on the floor, that player's effect, you know, the ability to create double teams, to the ability to just change the game just from being out. And I don't even think it's a plus or minus thing. It's just it's that aura that player has when they're out on the floor, the confidence it gives to their teammates. And, you know, similar to us, I've had that, I'm sure, that effect on teams. But then when I was in Boston, KG was that type of player, because we were so much better with him on the floor, because he did intimidate other players. So that too has an effect on.
How did he intimidate?
Do you need to pull up some video clip right now?
Well, but is it because he's yelling at them? I know his play would be intimidating, but
I think all of the above.
Okay,
because I think one, his stature, because, you know, being 7 feet tall and being long, and then you know, screaming and yelling and intimidating, just dunking the ball and screaming. Like, a lot of younger kids that come to the league, that intimidates them. You got to remember, I think about when I came into the league, the guys that intimidated me just by me being on the floor with them: MJ, Mitch Richmond, Reggie Miller, Clyde Drexler. the list goes on.
But
So
how
you
would
step,
they intimidate you? Was it just talent?
well, yeah, talent. You got to remember too. When you feel like you're in a situation where you, in some instances, when you're young, you feel like you don't belong because you watch these guys play for so many years of your life. So now you're on the floor with them. Like you. When I first played against MJ, I'm listening to their theme song when they run out onto the floor, and I asked myself, how did I get in the TV? Like I remember sitting at home on the couch and you hear the Running of the Bulls song comes on, and now I'm sitting on the court live, like somebody just snapped a finger and I'm inside the TV box now. So when you start thinking that, you're like, wow, do I even belong here? So I think that trepidation, I think it does rest in everybody's minds when they first get into the league. And then there's a point where you have to say, I'm one of these guys. Like I can compete against them, and he actually also has to guard me as well.
But did Jordan know that you were intimidated by him early?
No. I had never met Jordan up to that point. So when this was a preseason game, so when he came out on the court, he said, "Congratulations, welcome to the NBA." And the first thing I thought of was like, "Wow, this man knows my name," and that was the first stamp for me of having arrived, because the greatest player of all times, he knows who I am in this game of basketball. And the thing that I've learned.
Yeah, but what did he do to you in the game?
Well, it was preseason, so not a lot. I have to add that I scored 9 points in the first quarter. Okay. And I didn't know. Coach took me out of the game and I didn't play anymore. And at that time, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I thought I was about to score 30. And I didn't realize, like, Coach was already cool with me. He knew what I brought to the table. So then I sat for most of the game, and he wanted to see what these other guys could do. So it was certainly one of those moments where I learned, about minutes, and then I had this conversation. We were in a preseason game, and it happened to be against Minnesota. And it was myself, Kevin Garnett, and Stephon Marbury. And we were in the locker room after a game. We were somewhere in like Moline, Illinois, or Fargo, North Dakota. And we were just discussing we were talking about how good we were, because we were putting up numbers in preseason. And KG looks at us and goes, "Man, you guys aren't playing hard. They don't play hard in preseason. You guys don't get all beside yourself thinking that you're great yet. These guys are just going through the motions." And I did learn that. Like, it's just kind of a filling out process in the preseason.
All right. I have a guy that works here, Marvin, and a lifelong UConn fan, went to UConn,
Okay.
went to your basketball camp. Anything else you want to tell Ray Allen, Marvin?
Yeah, him and Vin Baker used to have those celebrity tournaments, those
Yeah.
celebrity games at
Yeah.
the Harvard Civic
Yeah.
Center.
Yeah.
Ray Hope camp, went to all that.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to you when you showing us the shooting motions, but big fan.
Why did you listen, Marvin? I don't understand. I was giving you some nuggets and you didn't listen.
Ray, he shoots like Anthony Mason.
Oh, see, you didn't listen, Marvin. We could have. You listen.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
It's the blueprint.
We need some help here, Ray, because let's say UConn wins. Marvin would like to go to the parade.
Okay.
Like, he wants to be in the parade.
And what qualification does he have to be in the parade?
Well, he's on my show, so he's around a great shooter who knows basketball, and he went to UConn. What else do you need?
I think based on those qualifications, he definitely can be at the parade.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean,
but here's the beautiful thing, Marvin. You live in Connecticut. You went to UConn. It's not really a parade in college. You just show up and you see the guys come down. You go to the arena and you just sit there and you celebrate the guys. Like, what more can you ask for?
Maybe be on stage? Can't do that, right? Okay.
Yeah. All right, Marvin.
What do you think is a better chance? Seattle gets an NBA team, or Marvin would be in the parade? He'd be part of the ceremony.
I would have to say that Marvin. Sorry,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Seattle's going to get a team before you get on that.
Marv, I tried. I mean, I'm asking Ray right here. I'm trying.
Hey, nah, it's all good. I'm talking to Ray Allen, so I can quit the show. I can do all that right now.
Oh, you're quitting the show?
No. I'm sorry.
Don't quit, Marvin. Don't quit.
No. I won't. My bills come every month.
You know what? gonna get a hold of Shabazz Napier. He could probably help you get somebody like that who could get. He's got some juice there. What do you think?
Shabazz, if this guy named not yes.
Do not answer the phone if Marvin calls. Okay,
Yeah.
so sorry, Shabazz Napier's not going to take your call either, Marv. Khalid El-Amin can get you into that parade. Ray, good to talk to you. Good luck with your Huskies. All right, great to talk to you as always.
Let's go Huskies. Let's do it.
All right, that's Ray Allen. Yeah, 2-time NBA champ. I love that hoodie.